Averruncus was a lesser-known Roman god associated with averting evil and negative influences, particularly in agricultural and pastoral contexts. His role was to protect fields, flocks, and crops from harmful forces, ensuring the prosperity and well-being of the community. Though not as prominent as gods like Jupiter, Mars, or Ceres, Avenruncus held a specific and vital function in the Roman pantheon that was integral to the daily lives of farmers and those who depended on agriculture. The concept of averting misfortune was deeply ingrained in Roman religion. The Romans understood the world to be filled with unseen forces, both benevolent and malevolent, that could influence human affairs. From natural disasters to the unpredictability of harvests, the Romans sought protection from these forces through various deities and rituals. Averruncus was one such god who was invoked to ward off the bad luck or misfortune that could harm crops, animals, or even the health of the people. His name itself, derived from the Latin avellere, meaning to drive away, captures his purpose: to avert or remove negative forces. Averruncus was typically worshipped in the context of agricultural rites, where sacrifices and prayers were made to ensure a successful season. These rites would often involve offerings to drive away evil spirits or any harmful forces that could endanger the livelihood of farmers. Though his worship was not as widespread or formalized as that of other gods, Averruncus was acknowledged in rural communities, where agriculture was the backbone of Roman life. His influence was important during harvest times, when the success of the crops determined the prosperity of families and even entire cities. Interestingly, Averruncus' role was not confined to the field or farm. He was also seen as a protector of flocks, another essential part of Roman life. The care of livestock, whether it was cattle, sheep, or goats, was a matter of utmost importance to the Romans, as it was closely tied to their food supply, wealth, and status. Livestock was a form of currency in many ways, and protecting these animals from disease, predators, or bad luck was critical. Averruncus was invoked to ensure the health and safety of herds, preventing the harmful influences that could lead to a loss of livestock or a reduction in the herd's productivity. Though Averruncus was not as widely represented in Roman temples or civic life, his role in the agrarian community meant that he played a subtle but important part in the functioning of Roman society. The Romans often relied on a network of minor gods and spirits to protect them in their daily lives, and Averruncus was one such deity who offered his protection through simple, practical rituals. He embodied the Roman approach to religion, one that was deeply rooted in superstition and practical needs, where the divine was woven into the fabric of everyday life. In Roman religious practices, averting evil was just as important as seeking favor. The concept of malum, evil or harm, was pervasive, and to ensure prosperity, it was crucial to prevent misfortune before it could take root. The idea of averting misfortune can also be seen in the broader Roman religious and social structure. The Romans had a vast array of protective deities, spirits, and rituals. Alongside Averruncus, gods like Terminus, who protected boundaries, and the Lares and Penates, household deities, ensured protection from forces that could disrupt the smooth functioning of life. One of the most common ways that Romans sought to avert misfortune was through the use of rituals and sacrifices. The Romans had an array of rites designed specifically to avert danger, such as offerings made during seasonal transitions, or the use of charms and amulets to protect against illness and disaster. Averruncus' role in these rites was not always in the spotlight, but his presence was vital to the success of the community's agricultural efforts. His mythological significance may have been minor, but Averruncus represented a key aspect of Roman religious thought: the belief that preventing evil or misfortune was just as important, if not more so, than seeking out blessings. He served as a guardian of the mundane, protecting everyday life from the forces that could undermine it. In this way, Averruncus can be seen as a symbol of the Roman understanding of the balance between luck and hardship, success and failure. In conclusion, while Averruncus may not have been one of the grand deities of the Roman pantheon, his role as a god who averted evil and misfortune was of great importance to those who depended on the success of their crops and flocks. His worship, rooted in practicality, highlighted the Roman reverence for balance and protection in everyday life. Through Averruncus, The Romans ensured that their agriculture and pastoral endeavors would be free from harmful forces, reinforcing the belief that the divine could and should intervene to protect the vital aspects of society. In many ways, Averruncus represented the unseen, protective force that allowed Romans to thrive in an uncertain world.